There are a lot of paid reviews out there for the new Logitech RS50 direct drive wheel. So here's my honest opinion after 1 month. Let's get this out of the way first. The base is great for a mid-range 8 Nm. There's just a couple of things that I didn't know before buying that many reviews don't cover. The price. We have to split this into categories: PlayStation user and PC only user. If you're a PlayStation user, the only strong alternative is Fanatec. If you go with the Logitech, the price will be 650 euros for the base, the wheel hub and the wheel, plus 150 euros for the pedals. So to have a wheel compatible with both PC and PlayStation, it will cost you 800 euros. The Fanatec alternative is at the exact same price for the 8 Nm version, 800 euros. You could probably get it at about 750 euros if you get the 5 Nm version and an AliExpress boost kit. I can't say if it's safe or not, so do that on your own risk. But I heard people go this way. At least unplug it while you're away. If you want the PC version, the Logitech bundle with pedals will be 670 euros, so cheaper by 130 euros than the PlayStation version. Here, the Fanatec is way cheaper at 480 euros, so 190 euros cheaper. Other options for PC are Moza R9, which is 9 Nm, but it is more expensive at 720 euros, and C-Magic Alpha Evo 9 Nm at 710 euros. Keep in mind that these prices are calculated if you buy everything from the same ecosystem. You can always buy, for example, the base from one manufacturer and buy wheels, pedals from some another, if you can get, I don't know, maybe better deals or better quality. Personally, I went with the Logitech because of availability, customer support and improved reliability of other products like the G Pro wheel or the older ones like G29. Coming from G923, I also wanted to keep the True Force feature, even though at the moment I don't think it's something that you should base your choice on. I could order everything on their website and have it at my door in 4 or 5 days or 2 days for 10 extra euros shipping. Plus, the return is free in the first 30 days, so I could easily return if I didn't like it. A decision factor was also this chart from Boosted Media, who put the force feedback quality of the RS50 at the top of the list. They liked the out-of-the-box feeling of the force feedback and True Force. True Force might have been a big factor in their decision, but I don't think it's a must-have feature. These guys do professional reviews, but I don't know them enough to know if they can be trusted or not. I think the general consensus is that they are trustworthy. Plus, I think that it's hard to measure the force feedback quality, as it is really subjective at some point. C-Magic was almost always out of stock, and I didn't want to go through the hassle to source the components from multiple websites to check their return policy, check if they're trustworthy, and so on. Fanatec and Moza are also great and valid options. I heard that Fanatec had customer support issues in the past, but I think they fixed it by now, and Moza was 90 euros more expensive. So all that being said, I think that any wheelbase in this price range will do its job, and you can go wrong with whatever you choose. The price might vary from what you see here, by location and time of the year, so check it yourself before making a decision. For example, Logitech has sales very often and you can get discounts from time to time when you buy multiple items from them, like the wheel bundle plus the pedals. There's also discount codes from content creators. I used one and got an extra 5% off. For example, I got the PC complete wheelbase, wheel and pedals at 630 euros. Still more expensive than the Fanatec PC, which goes for 480 euros. I'm sure that others have this type of discounts, so look it up. So as I said, I'm sure that any wheelbase at this price range and power will do its job, and you can't go wrong with any. One thing that differs from one another is the software. If you want more control over the force feedback settings and you like to fiddle around with it, you might want to look into others that I mentioned like C-Magic, Fanatec or Moza. In Logitech software you can change for now only the operating range, dampener, strength and force feedback filter, while other wheels have options like mechanical friction or mechanical inertia, which I'm not sure what they do, but you have 2-3 more options to fiddle with, so more control over the force feedback. One more thing to be aware of is the fact that compared to the Pro wheel, this doesn't have compatibility with the G29 wheels, which would be nice for really old games. I did not encounter compatibility issues, but if you will play emulators or older games, you might run into issues. Wheel rims. As you may know, wheel rim options were not that many in the Logitech ecosystem. This changed a bit because they have now a quick release system and you can use any wheel compatible with the 70mm or 50mm PCD mounting system. You will just end up with one extra USB cable from the wheel to PC if you want to use the buttons that the wheel provides. You have two wheel options on the website, the round wheel and the track wheel. There's also the Momo wheel, but it is never available on the website, so you have to buy from a Momo distributor. We'll discuss about this too. The RS round wheel. The size is 2900mm, which is 1 or 2 centimeters bigger than the G29 wheel. I couldn't find exact measurements of the G29. 29 or 3000mm is usually a good size if you want a wheel that can do everything from rally to Formula 1, so it's a good all-rounder. The material feels nice to use with the bare hands. It is smooth and soft at touch. I like the material, that is not an issue for me, but this is subjective. I heard people that like it and people that don't like it that much. Now, what I don't like about it, and it's not being talked that much. Issue 1. I feel it lacks ergonomy. There's not a lot of space here and everything is so straight around the interior. Plus, look at the stitching here, it looks bad with the material cut and glued here. A lot of people complain their fingers hurt because of this stitching after long sessions without gloves. At first I thought there are some snowflakes, but it can get really uncomfortable. If you play only Formula, I would suggest to get the track wheel, which has way better ergonomy. You can see here that it is more rounded and you have more space for the fingers. It also has these lines here, it's not just a straight wheel. The curve here is bigger. Meanwhile, at the RS round wheel, all straight and cramped up. The Momo wheel is way better in my opinion, but it will increase the total price of your build with at least 100 euros. If you can and you don't need a small wheel, the Momo one is the better option. It has 320mm, so it is not necessarily suitable for Formula racing, and some people might find it too big, but it has way better ergonomy than the RS round wheel. You can see it is rounded here and there is more space to put your fingers. Now this wheel has its issues too. One issue is the flex. It has some flex at the top that some people are afraid of. For me it is not an issue as I don't catch it that much from the top, and if I do so I move it from left to right and not from back to front. So think about it, if you hold the wheel from the top it might be weird. Another thing is the microfiber material. It has a nice feeling, but it is harder to keep it in good condition. If you don't use gloves, your hand oils will make it greasy and dirty, so you'll have to clean it regularly. Watch online videos how to clean microfiber, alcantara or suede materials. If you use it with gloves, you have to be careful what gloves you use. I recommend to use something with internal stitching and some similar material to the wheel. I have these OMP gloves that have leather similar to the wheel. Before I used these bike gloves and you can see they damaged a little bit the wheel on this side because I take my hand off the wheel constantly to change gears in rally. With the track wheel I don't have any issues, even though again some people dislike the rubbery material. So the Logitech wheel selection is a little bit lackluster. Whatever you choose might have some downsides or not, depending on your preferences and needs. If you're on PC, you always have the option to use the QR system and use any other compatible wheel that's not Logitech. And for 300 euros, a 8 Nm base is a pretty good deal. There are also a couple of third-party wheels compatible with the RS50 hub, like Simpush, this Rogue Racing Designs Wheel Builder, MPI or Acelit. The only thing is that many of these third-party wheels don't have a way to attach these 3 screws on the back, so it might have a little bit of flex, I don't know, I did not test them. The pedals are good, not exceptional, but for the price I think they do a good job. It is good that it has load cell brake, but the gas and clutch are straight up springs that don't feel so good to me, and they have a little bit of move left to right when the pedal is pressed a little. They are clearly an upgrade from the G923, but I can't compare with others as I didn't try any. Shifter and handbrake. The RS shifter and handbrake is really nice. I got it for 80 euros with a discount. I'd say the fair price is around 80-100 euros. It is a good shifter, it has a nice clear and loud click, so you know exactly when you change the gear. It moves fast and you can quickly go through gears. The loudness might be an issue for some. It's not extremely loud and it gets just a little bit more silent with time. The handbrake mode does its job too. Now my issue is that this is really big and it is a handbrake slash shifter, not a sequential slash H shifter, which should have been for its size. It's not like you either use the handbrake or the shifter. You always use one shifter and one handbrake, so I don't see the usability here. It doesn't really fit my setup. It would mean to own a second H shifter and unscrew it every time I want to play with an H shifter, which might be a waste of time. If you are in the same boat with the setup, there are a couple of options. There are the Fanatec and SIMAGIC DS8X, which are more expensive, and the budget ones, SHH shifter or the Turtle Beach multi-shift, both at the same price, around 100-120 euros. I went with the Turtle Beach for now because the SHH shifter takes 2 months to deliver, not because it's necessarily better, because I don't think it is. The H pattern of the Turtle Beach is good, doesn't feel all that professional, but it does its job. It's maybe just a little better than the Logitech H shifter if you tried it before. But it also has a sequential mode. I like it how easy it is to change between them. Now the sequential shifter feels worse than the Logitech one. The clicking when you shift is not as clear as the Logitech one, but it's an alternative if you need a more silent option. But yeah, the shifting doesn't feel as straightforward and clear, and because it's also an H shifter, when I move it forward or backwards in the sequential mode it has a little flex from left to right, which is a problem because if I don't pull straight and I accidentally pull a little left, it will hit the guide for the H pattern, as you can see. It only now moved where it should. It also feels like it has a weak spring and might feel slow until you get used. Issues that I did not have with the Logitech sequential shifter. So yeah, there's a compromise here for usability. I think that the SHH shifter is the best for this use case, or the more expensive ones which I didn't test. This is subjective again, as some people like, for example, the most expensive one from SIMAGIC and others dislike it. Others have issues with Fanatec. It's kind of hard to make a decision without testing everything. You just have to find what fits your use case and budget. So in the end, is it worth it? Well, for the price, it is a pretty competitive for an 8 Nm base and has good force feedback. On PC there are multiple options, so just try to find some honest reviews on the other options that I showed you. If you're on console, the only other options is the Fanatec one at the same price. I did not test it, so I can't say if it is better or worse. With the information I provided here, you should go and watch reviews on Fanatec and see for yourself. The only hard part is to find some honest reviews.